Okay, so typical gray day here on the Monterey Peninsula. I think I'm actually in Pacific Grove, and I've been walking around for like an hour trying to come up with an idea. Gray days are really difficult, and I'm usually not so inspired to paint on gray days, but let me show you what I'm thinking. So there's some interesting rocks in the foreground, and then off in the distance there are hills that have some light on them, and then occasionally sailboats go by. So I might try to include, like, I'm going to focus on the light in the distance, then also I may include some of the sailboats and maybe artificially light up the sails. And I've got the Anderson easel set up. I'm going to be painting on a 14 by 18 inch panel, and then using liquid as my medium and odorless mineral spirits in a brush washer. Probably going to be using this number 10 natural bristle flat. I've been using this a lot lately. Alright, so I'm kind of work from top to bottom because I know that I want my horizon high, and I want this land in the background to be fairly prominent. And then I've got to choose sort of a pattern here for the rocks. So I'm going to kind of go like something like that. There's a bit of land coming out over here. Might include that right there. And then sailboats maybe out here, a couple of them. And these rocks, you know, once I know kind of where things should be, I can add, you know, I can break them down into more defined shapes. As you can see, this is a pretty rough sketch, but it gives me an idea you know, of how the elements are going to lay out, and so I can get an idea of whether I think it's going to work or not. And I don't like the fact that this bit of rock here, which would be these here, I don't like the fact that that's coming out as far as it is, so I might shorten that a little bit, and then add some trees right on this edge to kind of keep the eye from going off. So I wasn't liking that, so I erased it and moved the rocks over because I want to feature more of the color and the white water in this area. And I also removed the rocks that were up here. I think this is okay. I think there needs to be some interest out here, and I could either add a wave or, like I was mentioning, add some sails that have light on them similar to the distant hills. Alright, so as usual I'm starting with my darks, and I'm using a mixture of alizarin crimson and ultramarine, leaning it definitely towards purple. And what I've done is I've sort of indicated where the seaweed is, because those are the darkest portions, and then I'll come in and mix color for the rocks. and then water. I'll kind of work my way back, but I'm liking this arrangement a lot better. All right, so for the rocks, I'm using a mixture of yellow ochre, burnt sienna, a touch of this purple mixture here, and then titanium white. And this will give me sort of a good starting point. Okay, so I'm just kind of playing around with color here, and I think this could work. If not, I'm having fun anyway. So the next thing will be to kind of redefine the rocks here, and then I think, I'm not sure about this arrangement of sailboats, but I do like the idea of having boats in the distance. Maybe like a couple out in this area, and then maybe just like one or two over here. These rocks were feeling a little too dense in the foreground, so I kind of erased an area here, opened it up, a little bit more water coming in. I think that's a better arrangement. Yeah, so I'm obviously changing things from what I'm seeing, but you know, I'm trying to get a good painting. That's what I'm after. Thank you. All right, so here's a look at the finished product. I like the arrangement of the rocks. I did play around quite a bit with the shapes of the rocks. I like the idea of having more water in the picture. Originally, the rocks kind of went more out like this, but I felt like it'd be nice to have more water in there. And then I was really looking for the shifts here. I used cobalt teal, which was given to me by a friend. Thank you, Brian. That's a really great color for for this kind of water. So I was trying to, like, right around the white water, I noticed that it would be that kind of tealish aqua color, and really wanted to feature that. I figured that would play nicely against the red in the rocks. Typically, I don't put things like sailboats in, but there was just this blank area here, and there were a bunch of sailboats out there. So I think it kind of works, actually. It gives some depth and scale to the picture. So here's a close-up of the rocks so you can kind of see the texture. Lots of areas of transparency and then thicker opaque paint on top. And I kind of used loaded short strokes, you know, for the water around the rocks. Oh, and then also, you know, still continuing to experiment with the vertical strokes in the sky. All right, so as usual, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you'd like to see some extra videos and help support the channel, there's a Patreon link down below, so check that out. Other than that, stay creative, and I'll see you guys in the next video.